The Bengals' initial 53-man roster is set, and there weren't many surprises. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of BengalsTalk.com. That's a Sports Illustrated site. Check it out at BengalsTalk.com and hit that subscribe button as we get so close to 46,000. Make sure that you ring the bell as well so you get notifications like this one, which is my instant reaction to Muma Meta, to Tanner McLaughlin, to Tyson Anderson, to Dejon Anthony, and to really any other maybe potential bubble player that you thought was on the roster bubble that we had making the 53-man roster. We're going to dive into it right now on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, and let's get into this. The news of the day, and we already reacted to, Jackson Carman was cut, and we knew that was coming down the pike. But looking at it, the news of this is that Myles Murphy was placed on the injured list. Now he's designated to return, and the former first-round pick is going to miss the first 4 weeks of the season due to that. And so he can be back as early as week 5. The same thing goes for punter Brad Robbins. So Ryan Rico wins that job almost by default as Brad deals with a quad/hip injury. Myles Murphy dealing with a knee. So both of those guys out for the first 4 weeks. DJ Ivey, the second-year cornerback, that was he was kind of like Josh Newton and Dejon Anthony last year. He was such a bright spot for being a late-round pick. He continues to rehab from an ACL, and he'll miss some time. He's starting the year on the PUP list, so we'll see there. But as far as the rest of these guys are concerned, the Bengals, they terminated Jalen Davis and Logan Woodside. They could always bring back Jalen Davis, for example, or assign him to the practice squad. He's a vested veteran, so they're not subject to waivers. They released a bunch of guys, and really there weren't any surprises. Literally everything that we thought could happen, might happen, did happen. They kept 5 tight ends with Tanner McLaughlin. They were able to find a way to keep Tanner Hudson and Tanner McLaughlin as well. I know there was a lot of going back and forth for Bengals fans on that one. They were able to keep 3 running backs, and they went that route as well. I was like, wait, where's Noah Cain? But Noah Cain was released the other day. Anyways, that's what happens when you get caught up in it. Anyways, let me pull up my roster here, and this entire thing is posted at BengalsTalk.com. So if you want to check that out, feel free. But we knew they were keeping 2 quarterbacks. We knew they were going to keep 3 running backs, 6 receivers as well. Not a surprise. I thought Kendrick Pryor, Cedric Jackson both had moments in camp to push for it, but we knew that was going to happen. The thing that I think a lot of people are concerned about is the fact that the Bengals defensive line and what they're going to do. Myles Murphy going to miss time now on injured reserve. And when you have that and you're missing a key piece like that, I think that they're going to work the waiver wire over the next 24, 48 hours, work the veteran, pick up the phone and look at veterans. Defensive tackle, same thing. They keep 6: Sheldon Rankins, BJ Hill, Zach Carter, Chris Jenkins, J. Tufele, and McKinley Jackson. That's good news for McKinley Jackson, by the way, a rookie that they're banking on. He suffered a knee injury before preseason game number 1. We didn't see him this preseason. So far, though, a step in the right direction, I would say, for a guy in McKinley Jackson, who I'm hoping can make an impact. And at the same time, I see the Browns and they released Jawan Briggs. I've seen veteran defensive tackles across the league that were released. And I think that they'll be able to hopefully get the most out of the waiver process and find a defensive tackle, maybe find a defensive end as well. But outside of that, I mean, linebackers, Muma Meta, make sure you check out Elise Jesse's conversation with him. We posted it earlier today because we knew Muma was going to make the team. And the fact that Muma made the team, certainly one of those feel-good stories. They keep 5 linebackers like we projected, 5 corners, Mike Hilton, Cam Taylor, Britt, DJ Turner, Dax Hill, Josh Newton, and then the 5 safeties. And I think this was the one that a lot of people struggled with because you're talking about 5 corners, 5 safeties, and 5 linebackers. And the answer is yes. And part of that's because Dejon Anthony is so versatile. And I think that allowed them to move on or be confident in moving on and risking a Jalen Davis signing elsewhere. And he very well could sign elsewhere. I think there could be some interest in him across the league. There's also a chance that there isn't much interest and he goes the other way and he's on the outside looking in. So I look at this roster. It makes a ton of sense, and I think it's going to change. It's going to evolve. Not at tight end. I think running back is a spot to keep an eye on. Defensive end, defensive tackle, and then the offensive line room. Matt Lee is the starting center, and or the backup center. Excuse me, not the starting center. Ooh. Matt Lee wins that center job though, the one that was available. Obviously, Ted is the starting center, but the one that was available. Don't tell him I said that now. Ted is gonna He's going to beat me up when he sees me. What are you doing? Getting me in trouble. I already know Andrew's going to clip this and send it to him. Leave it in. But my goodness, man, what am I thinking? Anyways, I look at this and we knew the veterans were going to make it. Brown, Karras, Kappa, and Volson. And then Mims, Locke, Ford, Locke for me, and Lee and Kirkland, both Jackson Kirkland and Matt Lee, both impressing in training camp, winning a job. I thought that Mims, it's like, all right, how serious is his injury? The fact that he isn't on injured reserve, I think, is pretty noteworthy and is good to see. So overall, it's exactly what you expected to see. No surprises here. The way I look at this and think, all right, the Bengals are pretty darn confident in what they have. And the one area that they're really looking at, or maybe two areas, running back, where they only keep 3. And that's not a shock, but I think they would love a little more depth there. And then 2, and this is the one that, again, defensive line, defensive tackle. Can they go that route? They waived Dominique Davis and Carlos Davis and Travis Bell. So I would expect to see a couple of those guys probably back on the practice squad. We are going to have you covered. Make sure you check out Elise's interview with Mumajong Mehta. Make sure you check out all of our videos today, whether it was Zach Taylor reacting and discussing cuts or anything else like that. Bengals related, we're going to have you covered. And literally, I'm scrambling here because Zach is talking as we're doing this. And guess what? We're going to have Zach Taylor right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. By the time you see this video, Zach will have talked and it'll be on the channel. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. For Andrew Fox Miller, who's killed it today, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching, and congrats to all the Bengals that made the 53-man roster. The roster is evolving, though, and we're going to have you covered right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.